Good evening. My name is Shmuel Bayapchik. I'm the student of Hanshi Steve Kaufman, and we're here with Hanshi Steve Kaufman. And the day today is December 3rd, 2018. And we wanted to ask Hanshi Steve Kaufman, which is my sensei, a few questions to understand the history of karate through his eyes. And I just gonna just after we drink a little bit of wine, I'm gonna ask you, Hanshi Steve Kaufman, the first question which is coming to my head is how everything started.
How everything started? How everything started? It started when I was in the Air Force back in 57. Oh my God, 58, that's 60 years ago. And when I got stationed on Okinawa, I had heard about karate, little snippets here and there and things. I never knew what it was. And then when I got to Okinawa, I just gravitated towards it, and I met a local fellow that was working there. His name was Mr. Shimoji. Shimoji, yeah. And we were pretty tight, I asked him, I said, I says, hey, where's the good schools, good karate school? So he smiled, he says, all right, yeah, right, So we went to a place called Four Corners in Koza. You can make me remember a lot of stuff over here, okay?
Whoa.
And the reason it was Four Corners was that's where the roads came together outside of Naha. And over here was an Air Force karate school, catered to Air Force guys, Marine guys, Navy guys, Army guys. And he showed me over to the Air Force one. I saw what was going on. I had no idea what was happening, man. It just didn't look right, So we looked around for a while. Anyway, make a long story short, he says, okay, maybe tomorrow we'll go find another place that you might like. I says, okay. Well, so the next day we went to a place in Naha, and you had to go in an off-limits area called Sakurazaka. I went all the way in the back and found the dojo, and the rest is like history, I guess. I was there for 2 years, and a little less than 2 years, and then after that, I went to, I was still in the Air Force and stuff like that. So essentially, when I got back to the States, I was stationed at a Dare Air Force Station in Corvallis, Oregon. Let me get my little guy here. Hey.
This is Tango.
This is Tango. This is my guy. He's got my back, I'll tell you right now.
There you go.
As you can see that picture over there. Okay. And so, we just were doing it, and I was part of the Japan Karate Association that we didn't even know. But all of that aside, which I'm sure we'll refer to time and again as we go on, Japan Karate Association then sanctioned us as the American Karate Association, and all kinds of political this, that, and the other thing. And just like that, we just went on and on. But what was interesting was that at the base gym, we erected a couple of makiwara outside in the back. It was me and this other fellow called Charles Collinsworth, who was my sensei, okay? At that point, he was Shotokan. I was coming from Shorin-ryu, Ishin-ryu, and Kempo, Wado-ryu, all the different ryus that were on Okinawa. I would go to this dojo, that dojo, we went around. But primarily, I was staying with Shorin-ryu, okay? Shorin-ryu was developed from, loosely from the Shaolin Kung Fu thing, and the whole history of Okinawa. I don't want to get into that. That's not relevant at this point. Anyway, so that was it, and then we taught over there at the air base at their Air Force station and taught there, as like a karate club, but we were sanctioned, so therefore
Yes.
essentially became an Air Force instructor, and that's that. We'll get back into that, I'm sure. I have no idea how long or how many sessions we're going to do here, and this is just an introductory session over here, okay? And as all the stuff comes out, what? Wait, what will taste now?
You have a question, I think.
Tango likes a little taste. But anyway, that's it. And then, after I got discharged, came back to New York and this, that, and the other thing. And I've just been doing it. This is what my life has been. Why? We're not going to get into that. I mean, that I did study a lot of the important tracks, studied Musashi heavily, and I came to write what has now become the world's most highly regarded interpretation of Goro no Sho, which is Musashi's Book of Five Rings. Okay, there you go.
Amazing.
What else you want?
Hanshi, I have a question. I see there are notes behind your head. What is this all about?
What?
The notes behind your head?
I'm a musician. And so, as a matter of fact, I've recently written a book called The Musician's Book of Five Rings. If you can get a picture of that, okay? Back to me. And, and where I apply the samurai mindset to performance and whatnot. But I practice every day. And so, like, this is the Slonimsky book. For those of you who know, Slonimsky was the master of putting all the scales and things together. It's not relevant at this particular point. And also, I also work on Coltrane's Giant Steps and trying to get that down in 12 keys. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, but that's another story. And I've been playing my saxophone since music was invented. I also did in the 70s, to the late 70s, early 80s, I was doing computer music, legit computer music, Then synthesizers came about, but that's another thing altogether, okay? As a matter of fact, when I'm playing, okay, if I'm really playing right, my little guy's over here on my shoulder singing and dancing, and when I'm not playing right, so there you go with
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Wow.
This is good. I don't even know how much of this we're going to edit. So I'm just going to run it out.
Yes, absolutely. So what, you were serving in Okinawa?
In the Air Force.
In the Air Force. And how did you get to the point that you really wanted to do karate? What attracted you to it?
See, this is a very good question. First of all, you have to understand I had no idea I was going to get to this point. When I learned karate, it was for the express purpose of saying, hey, wow, man, you go into a bar, you got into a fight, you can do business and take care of yourself.
Got it.
And so I did, I laid out some dudes. I've caught a couple of shots. Don't mean anything, If you're going to follow up and do what it's meant to do, which we had no idea. Let me tell you something. We did not learn. When I say we, I'm talking about others, such as myself, that studied over there.
Yes.
Most of the guys that did it, hey, cool, I know some stuff, boom, don't mess with me, that kind of thing. I sensed something. Why, I don't know, but I did. That there was more to this than just punching and kicking. Okay. Now you got to understand something. Being first generation, and by that I mean learning over there and bringing it back here and teaching it here.
Yes.
My student at that point becomes second generation. And then it just gets watered down, you know, third, fourth, fifth, and I don't know how many guys, you know, I've been through and all that kind of stuff, man. We didn't have, you know, like nobody was like hustling for black belts or stuff like that. I found out what a black belt meant later on. But why we wore a black belt was a whole different thing. The reason we wore a black belt was because we started, well, wait a minute, man. Shotokan, they have like white belt, green belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. I said, what is all of this, man? So well, you really shouldn't be teaching until you're a black belt, okay? Now, I'm going to like be busting a lot of guys over here, man, okay? As a sensei, which is a teacher, you have to distinguish yourself from the class. So you got advanced guys who were brown belts. You had the cherries that were green belts and white belts, okay? But that's neither here nor there, okay? Later on, if you're staying with this thing and you're doing your homework and you're studying and you're practicing and you're training, you start to find out that, like, there's a very high level of esotericism involved with the martial arts. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to do it so I can get my katas down good. And at that time, the consensus of opinion was, no, man, katas are no good. You can't fight with katas. I knew that was wrong, because if all of a sudden these guys on the other side are teaching us you got to know the katas, well, they got to know what the hell they're talking about. They've been doing it for a couple of 100 years already, you know? And then, you know, he says, okay, everybody got to learn the katas, so all of a sudden everybody knows 35 and 40 katas. Let me correct that. They know about 35 of the moves to 35 or 40 katas, you know what I mean? And how does this apply in a fight? And then as you develop, you say, wait a minute, karate, I mean, I remember this after, you know, when I first in this Oyama tournament at Madison Square Garden back in 1960 or 61, whatever it was, man. And I was fighting, man. And I did okay, and then, like, this is not about fighting. This is not about fighting. And now all of a sudden, all the friends start breaking into groups, man. No, it's about fighting, and Kaufman's off the wall. Uh-huh. No, it's about highly advanced spirituality. So Kaufman don't know where that's at. And I'm saying, wrong, wrong. And I said, why is this wrong? And I started exploring myself, you know.
Of course.
As a result of the martial way, or the samurai way, whatever that all means, the Buddha way, other things start to open up and reveal themselves. That's a specific word, reveal. We'll get to that in a while. So, you know, and also at that time, you know, Mifune's coming out with all the movies, you know, Yojimbo, Sanjuro, and we got the Seven Samurai, and we got like Nakadai and his movies, and then all of a sudden I know here come the Kung Fu movies, and like, so well, wait, what the hell is going on over here? And then you got everybody else all of a sudden making movies, okay? Yeah. Now, I'm not going to denigrate anyone, and I'm not going to elevate anyone. I'm just going to mention names. For those of you who know what's going on, you'll make your own decisions, okay? Everybody decides all of a sudden that they know what karate's all about. We didn't call it martial arts, okay? Call it karate, man. Karate, empty hand, karate. And what did we do? And I got pictures, they're on the site, wherever you want to say, what do you want, man? I'm working over here. Get over there, man. This is my little guy. Good boy. Okay. And you start seeing things. And you start seeing things and like the finality of the act is based on the inception of the act. Both are based on the intention of the act. Now, a lot of guys that were heavy-duty guys at the time, okay, we used to go to each other's schools. Say, what a Korean guy, Eddie Gross, great master. Rick Lynch's, another great master. You know, I don't know where these guys go. They're here, they're not, they live, they die, you know, all that kind of thing. I mean, I know Aaron Banks, knew all of these guys from the very beginning because I was there at the very beginning. And so what we were doing, we were going to each other's schools and finding out what does this guy know and what's his style. Hey, thank you, this is what we do and this. And this is how we developed American karate. Okay, here we go. American karate. Okay, and as a result of that, I am a legitimate founding father of American karate. A founding father, not the founding father. Okay, and there's a handful of other guys that are way up in the food chain with me. Okay, some of them are still functional. Every once in a while, what can I tell you? You get a phone call, get an email. Hey, Sensei, how you doing? Fine. Do you remember so-and-so? I said, oh, boy, I know what that means. And boom, okay?
Yes.
But I'm not going nowhere, kids. Got too much work to do. As a matter of fact, at my tender age now, we just finished, Shmuel and I just finished a good hour and a half session. And guess what we were working on? And this is the whole crux of it. We were working on the opening moves of Heian Shodan. Down block, punch, boom. Rising block, punch. Rising block, punch, kick. Whatever it is, and loosening up. Now, this is after having been involved with the martial arts for a couple of weeks myself. And I'm still doing it from the jump. Why do I do it at this point? First of all, I dig it. I really, really enjoy it. I get off on it. At my tender age, that I can throw shots that I can throw, and I can move my body the way I can move my body. And I got people saying, well, how old are you? And I tell them how old I am. They say, come on, tell us the truth. Okay?
Yes.
Most of the guys I know that are still active in my age area do not look their age at all, and their bodies function accordingly. Because as you continue to do this, it's residual, you know. I mean, a lot of guys, you know, get away from karate and they go into yoga, Tai Chi. I do Iaido. My favorite weapon is the sai, okay? I also work with sticks. A lot of you are familiar with my books. And a lot of my books are, they sell, they're still selling. My version of the Book of Five Rings is the best-selling version of Musashi's Book of Five Rings on the planet. As a matter of fact, a major hit guy of mine, Rico Guy, Hanshi Rico Guy, close brother, he was in Japan. He comes over to me and said, when he got back, you are not going to believe this, Sensei. What's that, bro? Your books are in the bookshop and the gift shop over by in Kumamoto, where, you know, Musashi's shrine there.
Wow.
So my influence goes way beyond movie stars. Leave it right there, okay?
Yes.
Or any and anybody that's like under my age, I call him Johnny Come Lately anyway, you know. So that's pretty much it. And like as we go on with this, and Shmuel has talked me into doing this, but he didn't have to twist my arm. And I'm going to tell you my history of karate, my history of martial arts, based on me and based on what I have seen and how I got Hanshi'd up and how all of that came about and how I've gotten to the point where I've written 40 books. So we're going to leave it at that point right now, okay? Except if Shmuel has one more question, because I want to have a little taste, you know?
Yes.
Think of a good question. By the way, I'm allowed.
Of course. I actually, Hanshi, I have a lot of questions for you.
Fire away, son.
I'm just trying to figure out something that is gonna be not too long, but I don't think there's anything I'm gonna ask you that's gonna be a short answer.
We didn't touch any of the profound stuff yet.
Absolutely, we haven't done anything yet.
This is like, hi, Steve here. What's happening?
Introduction, exactly.
You know, we'll go downstairs and get something to eat. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. By the way, want to give him we'll save that for later. I was going to say give him a flash of the dojo, but we'll save that for later.
Yes, we can do that later on. That's fine. Did you ever see yourself as a martial arts specialist or going forward doing what you do today or in all the recognition that you got later on? When you just started, of course.
No, I would say after I was doing this for about 20, 25 years, all of a sudden it dawned on me, when I was in my 40s, approaching the large 5 at the time, which I thought was amazing. It dawned on me. I mean, I knew it, but it dawned on me. You are probably one of the most important voices in the martial arts world, bar none. Now, had I been a whore, I'd have been making a lot of money, man. But for some reason, I didn't go that way. And like, do I regret it? Well, maybe sometimes, you know. But like, no, because I see where I'm at and I see where I'm going with this. And I see what I've been able to accomplish based on my own mental acuity, which has just expanded into unbelievable realms of awareness, to pure enlightenment of the ultimate highest Buddhist degree, to the most denigrating self-abasement that you can imagine, man. Because let me tell you something. When you start walking this path, you don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. And so you've got to get to a point where it is neither. And it's your responsibility to take what you know and disseminate it as an expression of the creative power of the universe. Let's cut it here because this starts getting into a whole different
topic.
place.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you the whole deal. I mean, how I developed to the incredible human being that I am, and why I laugh at people who don't acknowledge themselves as incredible human beings, and on and on and on and on. So there you go. You want to take it out, just say, hi, this is the Shmuel Biopchik. I'm here with Hanshi Steve Kaufman. I'm not telling you what to say, man. Okay? And let the people know I am not prompting you with any questions, man, so I have no idea where this is going to go. including up to like techniques, philosophy, style, systems, your sister Susie, whatever you want.
Yes,
okay?
I will confirm what Hanshi Kaufman said, that we don't have any script over here. We just shooting questions, whatever comes on my mind. And
I'm allowed. I got
and now yes, and then we're gonna keep some drinking some wine and enjoy it. And I guess you're gonna have more questions popping up because of that. So
And by the way, if you have any questions, because what I'm going to do, we're going to figure out how to like put these whole things up on YouTube.
right.
If you want to contact me, Hanshi, HANSHI.com, contact, boom, easy enough. Or Hanshi Kaufman at Gmail. There's tons of ways to get me. I'm on Facebook.
All over Facebook.
I'm all over the place, man. Okay,
Yes.
and like. I welcome any questions and comments. And mind you, I will answer the vast majority, but if there are any jive-ass, wise-ass questions, I'm going to totally ignore them. So I'm telling you right now, okay? Let me know what you think. You have any particular questions? We'll deal with it. My pleasure, my responsibility. Bada bing.
Thank you, Hanshi Kaufman. We will continue for the next time with more questions.
Click.